That brings us to the subject of buying cars. And the plain fact is that outside the fleet market, most of us don't buy new cars at all. We enter what has been accurately called the jungle of the second-hand car market, poring over the ads, traipsing across dealers' forecourts, hoping to find a bargain without being conned. A process that all too often can end in tears, particularly for the unwary. As Jeremy Clarkson explains.
Go, lummy, stone the crow, strike a light. Have you come to see me on the right day? I've got a couple of very tasty motors here. Now, I know they look like Fords, but this is craftsmanship. Bugatti Blue, unique. All the trimmings, low mileage. Want to take the pick? I'll go get the keys.
Which one would you choose? These two cars are virtually identical. They're the same colour, each had one owner, they're in good condition, and both have a low mileage. Or do they? Both cars have 15,000 miles on the clock, but this one has really done 35,000 miles and has been clocked by Jack the Lad here. He pockets an extra £700 on top of the dealer's normal profit. And the cost is a staggering £100 million a year, with an estimate of 1 in 5 cars being clocked at some time in its life. Ronald Allen, a post office worker from Birmingham, bought this Maestro from a private seller.
I bought this car in September '88, and there was 27,000 miles on the clock. And the chap that I bought from assured me it was the genuine mileage. And when I got home, I was a little bit suspicious about the wear on the pedals and oil on the engine block underneath. So I contacted the original owner, who assured me it had done 82,000 miles, and they'd sold it to the local auction in Stoke-on-Trent.
Most profit for the con men comes from cars less than 3 years old with a high mileage, fleet cars and ex-hire cars. Most are sold through reputable auction houses such as ADT, but the problem starts after the sale. Our bent dealer, using a fictitious name and address, buys for cash, clocks the car, and sells for a profit at a less reputable auction house, again using a different name. This could go on for several changes, making it almost impossible to prove who actually clocked the car. Details of all vehicles sold by ADT are put onto a computer that shows if a vehicle has been sold before with a higher mileage. But what else can be done?
If it was practically possible, any form of log or certificate which would record the odometer reading every time a vehicle changes hands, then that would be welcomed by the whole industry. Nobody wants clockers.
To make life less easy for the con men, more expensive cars, Jaguars, BMWs and so on, are now being fitted with tamper-proof instrument clusters. Lucas has developed an electronic odometer for the XJ6. Now this is a brand new car, so it's only showing 10 miles. This device is capable of being programmed with its own serial number, date of manufacture, vehicle identification number, mileage, and any other functions that would, when plugged into the main agent's computer, reveal the history of the vehicle. Even if the unit is replaced altogether, it is programmed to show that it is not original equipment. As well as having a memory, the unit cannot be made to run backwards, nor is it any good to go forwards, as the numbers will not go past all the 9s. There's no question that it is an expensive system at the moment. It's going to be quite some time before you find technology like that in a Ford Escort. Technology aside, most of the pressure to curb clocking has come from consumer organisations, but they recognise they haven't stopped the problem and are having to work out systems that can be applied within the existing law.
Voices is a computerised mileage checking system, and it consists of officers visiting auctions and garage forecourts and entering vehicle details into one of these devices. The information is then passed to our central computer, which speaks to the DVLC computer at Swansea. And in the case of low mileage vehicles, we'll find out who the previous keeper of the vehicle was. We'll write to them, ask them what the mileage was when they sold the vehicle. And if it's higher than we see it at the forecourt, it implies the vehicle's been clocked, and we can investigate the matter accordingly.
The plain fact is that despite all the effort, clocking hasn't gone away. Last year, the Office of Fair Trading obtained 379 convictions for misrepresenting a vehicle's true mileage. And that's only the tip of an iceberg. Now, you'd think there'd be something that could be done to stop the public from being fleeced, and there is. Or rather, there was, but the government has kicked them out, arguing they're too bureaucratic. Actually, it couldn't have been simpler. It was proposed that mileages be recorded by owners on registration documents when taxing or selling their vehicles. Not only would a buyer be able to see at a glance the true mileage, but the DVLC at Swansea would also have the vehicle's mileage record. With the government so adamant, the only hope for the moment lies with a private member's bill currently going through the House of Lords. It has the backing of consumer groups and the industry. Now, with such a head of steam, perhaps the government will take another look at this apparently simple solution to the problem.